Hello dear viewers and welcome to English News Broadcast. I'm Melo Kyle. These are the top stories for today. 3 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today. Commemoration of 6th anniversary of armed struggle for independence. Israel attacks solidarity protesters for escaped Palestinians. Brazil, one of its worst droughts in nearly a century. Announcement from the Ministry of Health. 3 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine centers in the central Gashbarka and southern regions. Out of this, 1 patient is from the quarantine center in Asmara Central Region. 1 patient is from quarantine center in Adibara, Gashbarka region. The last patient is from quarantine center in the Amhara Southern Region. On the other hand, 3 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the southern region have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly increased to 6,608, while the number of deaths stands at 40. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 6,654. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 9 September 2021. Eritrean nationals in Great Britain, Australia and New Zealand commemorated the 6th anniversary of the beginning of the armed struggle for Eritrea's independence with patriotic zeal. At the commemoration event, the Eritrean community held in London on 4 September, Mr. Stefanos Habtemara, Eritrean ambassador in Great Britain and Northern Ireland, gave briefing on the significance of 1 September in the history of the Eritrean people as well as on the objective situation in the homeland. The event was featured with cultural and artistic programs as well as exhibition depicting the heroic feat the Eritrean people demonstrated during the armed struggle for independence. In the same vein, the Diamond Jubilee of the beginning of the armed struggle for Eritrea's independence was commemorated in various cities of Australia and New Zealand, in which nationals participated in person and virtual formats in compliance with the guidelines in those countries to control the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Mahari Takhasta, General Consul of Eritrea in Australia, gave extensive briefing on the objective situation in the homeland and the region and called on nationals to strengthen organizational capacity and participation in the national development drives. At the event, chairman of Eritrean communities in national organizations and associations delivered speeches in the virtual format, focusing on the significance of the day in the history of the Eritrean people. The National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students organized vocational training ranging from 1 to 3 months to 2,164 youth, including 1,330 females in the central region. Speaking at the graduation event held on 8 September, Mr. Saleh Ahmedi, chairman of the National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students, called on the youth to practically develop the training they were provided in creating income generation activities and improve their livelihoods. Mr. Samson Kifle, head of the National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students branch in the Central Region, on his part, said the training was in continuation of the efforts the union is exerting to develop vocational skill of the youth. According to report, the union branch in the past had organized vocational trainings in the 16 subzones of the region. The training program included maintenance of water pumps, computer technology, painting, video camera, beauty salon, among others. And I'll be back with the international news after a short break. Welcome back. At least 8 Palestinians injured after Israeli forces fired tear gas, rubber-coated bullets at solidarity protesters in the occupied West Bank. Dozens of Palestinians in the occupied West Bank have been wounded in confrontations with Israeli soldiers while protesting in solidarity with 6 Palestinian men who managed to a high-security Israeli prison. Earlier this week, relatives of Palestinian prisoners have been, as Israel launched a massive manhunt to capture the 6 men who tunneled out of the Gilboa jail on Monday at the rallies. People chanted freedom while waving Palestinian flags. According to the reports, 3 other Palestinians were injured in occupied East Jerusalem as well as after Israeli forces fired rubber-coated bullets and sound bombs at the site in near Damascus Gate. Brazil, one of the world's agricultural superpowers, is grappling with one of its worst droughts in nearly a century. The lack of rainfall has hurt farmers and forced the country to rely more on costly thermoelectric power plants, stoking inflation and dragging on the economy. With reservoirs low at key hydroelectric dams, the government is encouraging Brazilians to consume less power, but has so far ruled out energy rationing. All reservoirs that supply the metropolitan region of Sao Paulo have a water storage deficit compared to 2013, the year before the last water crisis, according to data from the Basic Sanitation Company of the state of Sao Paulo. In the total volume stored, the difference is 19.2 percentage points. Together, the water producing systems for the metropolitan region of Sao Paulo currently have 43.1% of the capacity. In August 2013, the total was 63%. And now we'll remind you to top source. Three patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today. Commemoration of 6th anniversary of armed struggle for independence. Israeli attacks solidarity protesters for escaped Palestinians. And Brazil, one of its worst droughts in nearly a century. That was all for today's news. Thank you for watching.